Hello, this is State Senator Dale Ryder, and welcome to the first 2019 version of the 2-minute drill. I'm standing right outside of the Senate chambers. Today is Thursday, February 7th. The Senate just adjourned, but not before taking up what is the first major piece of legislation in this legislative session, a very aggressive increase in Illinois' minimum wage, which stands at $8.25 an hour right now. The Senate Democrat majority passed a bill to increase that to $15 an hour. I had some things to say on the Senate floor about this bill. I want to start off, most of the time when people make points and they get up and they do their debates or ask questions and then make their points, they say at the end, well, I'm going to vote yes or I'm going to vote no, and ask the chamber the rest to do the same. I'm going to just tear that varnish right off from the start, okay? I'm not voting for this, okay? I've never voted for it. God bless the majority leader, because she has tried and tried and tried, and every time I've had the opportunity to vote on this in the Senate, I have voted no. And here's why, is because I represent a district that has all or parts of 14 counties right along the Indiana line. Indiana's minimum wage is $7.25. Now, some of you may think that is too low. Some of you may think that's immoral, and that's I respect that opinion. But the bottom line is that when you raise the cost of doing business, at some point, there's only a handful of things that business owner can do. They can lay employees off, job loss. It happened in 2006. The Illinois Federation of Businesses says it's going to happen again. The governor recognizes it's going to be a problem, because in his public statements he has said what? We're going to try and cushion the blow to small businesses. The sponsor recognizes that, because there is a tax credit, although it's hopelessly complicated, and if you lay off too many people, you don't get the tax credit, but she recognizes it's in there, to her credit. So let's not dismiss the concerns of the fact that this will raise the cost of doing business, and that will result in either someone going out of business, someone getting laid off, or prices going up. 58% of all retail stores in Illinois, 58% are within 25 miles of another state. 1/5 of them, 20%, are within 10 miles. And that is a problem in my district. They will go across the line if prices go up. They will go over there to go out to eat. They will go up there and fill up their gas tanks. We're talking about infrastructure here. We're going to lose those people. And I guess that's the issue that I want to raise here. One of the hardest things in politics is to admit that you don't know what you don't know. And there are things that you don't know in the first week of February that you're going to know at least a little more about in May. Now, this is a little bit of insider baseball, and I guess I'm talking primarily to the newer members on both sides of the aisle, because this is the way this will work. The governor will give his budget address a little bit later this month, and that's when the parade starts. And I don't mean a parade like a parade out in the street. I mean the parade of people who could be walking into your offices asking for money. Now, they won't just be asking for the money that they got last year. They'll be asking for more money they got last year. And if this becomes law, they'll be asking for more money on top of the more money that they asked for last year. What is that number? Well, we don't know. The governor's office testified yesterday in executive committee, and they gave us a chart that says their estimate is that it'll be $82 million, the fiscal impact, direct fiscal impact to the state budget. $82 million in the rest of this fiscal year, almost $300 million next year, and that number goes up, okay? Now, is that right? I don't know. No one in this chamber knows, but I do know one thing, and anyone who's been here for more than like 6 weeks knows this as well. And that is, any governor's office estimate of what something will cost in February will cost more in May. That's the way it works, okay? Because those numbers are going to go up. That's just the direct state budget impact. That doesn't count how much more money colleges, universities, the over 800 school districts in this state, the drug and alcohol treatment providers, the mental health providers, and all of the rest who depend upon, to one degree or another, appropriations and support from the state taxpayers in order to do the job that we insist that they do. Now, I understand that this is going to happen. There is going to be a minimum wage increase
in this state during this session. My question for you is, why are you in such a hurry? I understand you're adhering yourself to a political deadline that has to do with a speech that's going to happen later this month. The danger here, what you are walking into, is you don't know how much it's going to cost. You have no idea how much it's going to cost. I wish we would have heard more from the people who this is going to impact, particularly the education community. I will be befuddled for weeks to come why they were not at the table in executive committee talking about this. But very soon they will be on your doorstep in this building asking for the money they would have asked for and even more. What is that going to be? You don't know. One last unknown for you. This state, like every state, tries to provide a social safety net for people of low incomes. How will this affect them? In other words, the programs, because we don't talk about that very much, but I want to talk about a couple of them. The SNAP program, for those of you who aren't familiar with what that is in government parlance, that's food stamps. Okay? That's the assistance that the state and federal taxpayers give to people so they have enough food to eat. A single parent working full-time with one child is not eligible for SNAP benefits at $15 per hour. Now, how many of them are there? I don't know. I don't know. But you don't either. And when they call or when they start complaining about losing benefits, what will we do about that? Will we raise the income thresholds? The Child Care Assistance Program, there is a lot of talk in this chamber, rightly so, and it's rightly motivated, Mr. President, about providing families with assistance when it comes to child care. At 185% of the federal poverty level, which is the percentage of the poverty level which Illinois works off of, two-parent household working full-time is not eligible for any child care assistance once they reach $10 per hour. The TANF program, Temporary Assistance for Needy Families, a two-parent household working full-time with one child is not eligible at $11.25 per hour. How many of those people are there? The people that you say that you're most concerned with, the people at the lowest rungs of the economic ladder. How many of those people will lose their benefits? How much that will cost to remedy? You don't know the answer to that, and I don't either. And that's why this is not the right time to do this. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thanks again for joining me on the first edition, 2019, of the 2-Minute Drill.